Emma Caldwell was 27 and already tired of pretending she had her life together. She worked as a junior marketing coordinator at a mid-sized ad agency in downtown Chicago, the kind of job where you spent half your day in Slack threads and the other half pretending your iced oat milk latte was fueling genius ideas instead of just caffeine and anxiety. Her apartment was a sixth-floor studio in Logan Square, exposed brick, one sad pothos plant that somehow refused to die, and a view of the L tracks that rattled her windows every 12 minutes. It wasn't glamorous, but it was hers, and after the messy breakup with her ex last year, hers felt like a victory. She used Google Calendar like it was a second brain. Work meetings, gym reminders, her mom's birthday, the occasional "don't forget to buy oat milk" note to herself. Every Sunday night, she sat cross-legged on her IKEA couch, AirPods in, planning the week ahead while the city hummed outside. The first weird one popped up on a Tuesday in early October. Emma was on the red line, earbuds blasting an audiobook when her phone vibrated. Calendar notification. She pulled it out, expecting the usual "Team Sync at 10 a.m. Instead, the screen read, "Meeting with Emma Caldwell, 2 a.m., basement. Location, home." She stared at it. Basement? Her building didn't have one. The super had once joked that the creepy crawl space under the first floor was storage for ghosts. She laughed once, nervous, short, and swiped it away. Probably a glitch, some shared calendar from work bleeding over, or maybe she'd fat-fingered something last week while half asleep. She deleted the event. Done. But the next morning, another one waited. Final discussion, do not cancel. 3:15 a.m., living room. Emma Caldwell only. Her stomach did a little flip. She was wide awake at 7:30 a.m., coffee brewing, phone in hand. The event had been created at 2:47 a.m. while she was asleep. No other attendees, no description beyond those 4 words. She opened the app, hit delete, then checked her account security. Password still strong, 2-factor on. Nothing looked off. Glitch, she told her reflection in the bathroom mirror. Phones are weird now. By Thursday, the reminders were daily, each one timed for the middle of the night, each one using her full name like some formal, sinister politeness. Meeting with Emma Caldwell, 1:45 a.m., kitchen counter. Bring the blue notebook. She didn't own a blue notebook. She owned 3 black moleskins and a spiral-bound one from Target that was falling apart. Still, she tore her apartment apart looking for anything blue. Nothing. She changed her Google password to something 30 characters long with symbols that looked like a keyboard had a seizure. She logged out of every device, logged back in. The events kept appearing, always created at odd hours when she was dead asleep. Friday night, she stayed up until 4 a.m. watching the calendar like it was a horror movie. Nothing. She finally crashed on the couch at dawn, only to wake to the sound of her phone buzzing on the coffee table. Meeting with Emma Caldwell, 2 a.m., bedroom closet. You left the light on again. Her bedroom light had been on when she fell asleep. She'd been too exhausted to turn it off. She checked the timestamp, created at 2:03 a.m., while she was passed out on the couch 10 feet away. Emma's hands started shaking. She factory reset the phone right there on the living room floor, wiping everything clean, spent 3 hours reinstalling apps, restoring from backup, crying quietly so the neighbors wouldn't hear. When she opened Calendar again, the first new event was already waiting. Final discussion, do not cancel. Tonight, you already know where. No time, no location, just that line. She threw the phone across the room. It bounced off the couch and landed face up, screen still glowing. That weekend, she bought a brand new iPhone 16 at the Apple Store on Michigan Avenue, paid full price because she couldn't wait for shipping. Same number, same everything. She set it up as a completely new device, no iCloud restore, no old backups, fresh start. Monday morning, she walked into the office feeling lighter. The new phone was pristine, a little heavier in her hand, the screen brighter. She opened Calendar to add her 10 a.m. meeting. There it was. Meeting with Emma Caldwell, 2:30 a.m., under the bed, the one with the loose slat. She hadn't told anyone about the loose slat under her bed, not her best friend Sarah, not her mom, not the super when he fixed the leaky sink last month. She'd discovered it herself one night when her phone fell and she had to crawl underneath with a flashlight. How could a brand new phone, never synced to anything old, know that? Emma called in sick. She spent the day at a coffee shop 3 stops away on the Blue Line, Googling calendar events appearing on new phone and Google account hacked after factory reset. Forums were full of conspiracy theories, 0 days, supply chain attacks, rogue employees at Google. Nothing helpful. One guy claimed his smart fridge started ordering milk at 3 a.m. after his divorce. She laughed until she realized she wasn't laughing anymore. That night, she slept with every light on and the new phone in a drawer in the kitchen, face down. At 2:27 a.m., she woke to the sound of it vibrating through the wood. She didn't want to look. She really didn't want to. But she did. Meeting with Emma Caldwell, 2:30 a.m., under the bed, the one with the loose slat. Emma screamed, short, sharp, the kind that dies in your throat because you're afraid someone outside might hear and come knocking. She dragged the bed away from the wall, heart hammering, and shined her flashlight underneath. Dust bunnies, a single mismatched sock, the loose slat, exactly where the reminder said it would be. Emma called Sarah at 3 a.m. "Something's wrong with my phone, or me, I don't know." Sarah, half asleep in her Wicker Park apartment, tried to calm her. "Babe, come crash here. We'll get you a new SIM, a new Google account, the works. You're just stressed. The breakup was only 8 months ago." Emma packed a bag and slept on Sarah's couch for 2 nights. No reminders, no vibrating at 2 a.m. She felt stupid and relieved at the same time. On the 3rd night, she went home. The apartment smelled stale, like it had been waiting. She plugged in the new phone, opened calendar, and immediately closed it again. Nothing. She exhaled. Then, at 1:58 a.m., it buzzed. Meeting with Emma Caldwell. 2 a.m., living room. The throw pillow you always hug when you're anxious. She looked down. The gray throw pillow, the one she'd bought at West Elm after the breakup, was clutched to her chest. She hadn't realized she was holding it. The next morning, she went to the Apple store again. The Genius Bar tech was patient, a guy named Marcus with kind eyes. He ran diagnostics, checked for malware, restored the phone to factory settings a second time while she watched. No jailbreak, no suspicious profiles, nothing on our end. Calendar is clean on your end. Emma nodded like she believed him. She started taking notes, every reminder, every detail. She bought a physical notebook, black, not blue, and wrote down what the events said versus what actually happened in her apartment. Patterns emerged. The reminders knew when she'd ordered Thai food and left the leftovers on the counter. They knew she'd cried in the shower last Wednesday. They knew she kept the spare key under the fake succulent by the door, even though she told everyone she didn't. They knew things she only thought about when she was alone. By the 2nd week of October, the events were no longer just at night. They started appearing during the day, timed to moments she was away from home. Meeting with Emma Caldwell, 11:40 a.m., bathroom cabinet, behind the extra tampons. You left the cap on the toothpaste again. She was at the office when that one came through. She ran home on her lunch break, heart in her throat, and checked. Toothpaste cap off. Exactly. Someone had been inside multiple times, while she was at work, while she was asleep, while she was on the L. She changed the locks, deadbolt plus chain. She bought a Wise camera and set it up facing the front door, motion alerts on. She told the super she was worried about a stalker. He shrugged and said, "City's full of weirdos." The reminders kept coming. One night, the event simply read, "Meeting with Emma Caldwell, 1 a.m., kitchen. The knife block is missing the paring knife." Emma's blood went cold. She had used the paring knife that evening to cut an apple. She'd washed it and put it back. She checked anyway. The slot was empty. She slept in the bathtub with the lights on and a chair wedged under the bathroom door. The final reminder came on a Thursday. She was sitting on her couch at 11:47 p.m., wrapped in a blanket, phone in a death grip, waiting. The notification slid down. "Tonight. You already know where." No time, no location, just those 4 words glowing on her screen. Emma stared until the letters blurred. Then she did something she hadn't done in weeks. She opened her notes app and read back through every reminder. The basement that didn't exist, the blue notebook that didn't exist, the details that did exist. Every single one had been true the moment it appeared. Except the reminders weren't coming from the cloud. They were being added locally on the device itself after someone had physical access. She looked around her apartment slowly. The exposed brick, the pothos plant, the couch where she was sitting right now, the faint scuff marks on the floor near the door that she'd never noticed before. Her eyes settled on the Wise camera she'd installed. The little red light was on, recording. She opened the app, live view, her own front door from the inside, but the timestamp on the recording said it was from yesterday afternoon when she was still at the office. The video showed her door opening. A figure in a black hoodie stepped inside, gloved hands, calm movements. The figure walked straight to the kitchen counter, picked up her phone, the new one, and unlocked it with her passcode. The passcode she'd changed 3 times. Then the figure opened Calendar and typed. The figure turned toward the camera and looked straight into the lens. It was her own face. Not a mask, not a deepfake. Her own face, smiling the small, tired smile she made when she was pretending everything was fine. The hoodie figure was wearing her own gray sweatshirt, the one she'd left on the chair this morning. Emma dropped the phone. The live view on her screen now showed the real-time feed. Her own front door closed, the chain still latched from the inside. She was alone, but the figure on the recording had been her. The reminder buzzed again. Tonight, you already know where. Emma looked at the closet across the room. The door was cracked open 2 inches. She never left it cracked. She always closed it. From inside the darkness, she heard the faintest sound, like a phone vibrating on a carpet. She stood up slowly, walked across the room. The floorboards creaked in the exact rhythm they always did when she walked this path at night. She pulled the closet door open. Her old phone, the one she'd factory reset and thought she'd thrown away, was sitting on the floor, screen lit up, displaying the Calendar app, battery at 87%, connected to her Wi-Fi. And on the screen, a new event was being typed in real time, letter by no one. Meeting with Emma Caldwell. Right now, you already know where. She looked up. The closet had a false back panel she'd never noticed. It swung open on quiet hinges. Behind it was a narrow space between studs, just wide enough for a person to stand. A small folding stool, a notebook, blue, her missing paring knife resting on top of it, and dozens of photos of her, sleeping, showering, crying on the couch, laughing at her own reflection in the mirror. The last photo was from tonight, taken from inside this closet. Her own back as she sat on the couch clutching the throw pillow. Emma's phone buzzed one final time in her hand. The notification read, "Final discussion. Do not cancel. Emma Caldwell is already here." She turned around slowly. The apartment was empty. The lights were on. But the shadow under her bed, the one she always told herself was just the dust ruffle, moved. And for the first time in weeks, Emma Caldwell smiled the small, tired smile she made when she was pretending everything was fine. Because the reminders had never been coming from outside. They had been coming from the only person who had been inside her home every single night. The only person who knew every detail. The only person who could never cancel the meeting.